Welcome back to On the Journey, episode 7. Today we're here with myself, John Paul Dombrowski, and all the different parts of me. Where to begin? One of the things that I was thinking about today is a theme that was shared with me from my therapist, and he just said it so well. He said, our lives are filled with moments of expansion and contraction. Moments and feelings of peace, equanimity, joy, laughter. Moments of anxiety, of fear. Moments of abundance and moments of scarcity. And it's been a really helpful reminder in my life that that's just the normal process. That's just how things happen. It's really helped me to let go of some of my identification with my feelings. This idea that my feelings, my emotional states are clouds passing in the sky has been really helpful, and this realization of expansion and contraction has augmented and complemented that. And I think one of the moments that kind of highlighted this so clearly for me was there was a time probably about 2 or 3 years ago, and it was at a time when I was really hoping to get my PhD in psychology, and so I was applying for grad programs, and it was a pretty stressful time in my life. It was a very stressful time in my life, but it was also a time when I had really deepened my mindfulness practice, and I was starting to discover this expansiveness, this peaceful equanimity. And it was really a deepening in my spiritual life as well, because as I've been able to kind of train the mind in mindfulness and not be so consumed and locked on and identified with thought, my experience of the Lord and His love for me has just blossomed. And what I mean there is that I've actually felt God's love, something that I didn't really ever feel much before. Through that deepening practice of mindfulness, I've expanded my ability to be with the grace and the beauty that is already here within and around me. But what I love about this story is it just highlights this expansion and contraction. It was a Sunday, and it was after Mass, and I was praying after Mass, and I just felt peace. I felt just this bubbling sense of joy, this sense of contentment, this sense of okayness, this sense of, there were tears in my eyes, just one of those moments of like, life is so good. It was a real moment of surrender, of letting go, of just feeling this sense of expansion and openness and love and tenderness towards my wife, tenderness towards my children, tenderness towards myself, towards the world. Like, it was a really beautiful experience of intimacy. Like I was experiencing this soft, tender hug that was also drawing me outward, like a friend saying, come on, dude, like, let's go play. So I had that, and I had that for a little while. Like, it lasted for kind of a while for the afternoon. And then later on in the afternoon, and it was real, it was notable, it was palpable. It wasn't just this fleeting feeling, it was a deep feeling. But later on in the afternoon, I had to sit down to write my cover letter. And trying to put my thoughts, feelings, perspectives into words triggers so much shame and pain for me. And what was so obvious to me, like, I had to sit down, I had to write my cover letter, and I just felt all this self-hate. I just felt this disbelief. I just felt like it was just like, I just felt this sense of frustration and hatred and shame and disgust and embarrassment, and I felt so inadequate. And even now, as I'm saying that, I can feel tears in my eyes, connecting with this feeling of just, I felt so inadequate, so not good enough. I felt inequipped to write, I felt inequipped to use punctuation, I just felt so overwhelmed. And it was a moment where I just kind of realized, like, wow. I was able to step back from that feeling like I'm inadequate, like I'm bad, like I'm no good, I'm shameful. And realize, like, wow, a couple hours ago, I experienced this deep, welling sense of okayness, this sense of love, this sense of compassion, this sense of equanimity. And now here, like that, it's gone. Like, man, what happened? And it wasn't like what happened. It was just like, it was this, wow. How clear it is to me that these feelings are passing, changing emotional states. How clear it is to me that, like, it's not like I did something wrong here. Granted, I probably had too much coffee, and I realized that that's one of the things that coffee does to me. But I hadn't, like, done anything. And it just became so obvious to me that, like, man, this is how life is. There's these moments of expansion, and then like that, it can be a moment of contraction. And what that allowed me to do, and I remember this so clearly, the first time I did it, I was in my undergraduate studies, I was in a philosophy class, I think it was maybe an epistemology class, because I remember so clearly just journaling in the side of my notes. I just felt this sense of, I just feel sad. I just feel like a little dog. Just like a sad little dog, like huddled up in the corner. I was probably, 19, maybe 20, probably 20. I felt this sadness, I felt this littleness, I felt like a pool of disregard. Just a sadness, just a fullness of lethargy and weight. And I think that was one of the first times that I said, you know what? I'm just going to let myself feel like this. I'm just going to let myself feel like this small little puppy dog that's just hurt and sad and lonely. I'm not going to try to escape it. I'm not going to try to push it away. And I just kind of sat there in class and I just felt sad. And there was a certain stability that came with that. There was a certain peace that I felt because I wasn't pushing it away. I was encountering my pain, but because I wasn't resisting it, there wasn't suffering. And this is something that I was reflecting on this morning in prayer. So I was working through, meditation series. The woman was talking about how pain, we can flip pain and difficulty on its head. Pain oftentimes isolates us. It leads us to feeling envious and disconnected from others. But we can actually flip that on its head and realize that pain, difficulty, suffering, loss, betrayal, hurt, sadness, these are actually experiences of universality. These can actually be opportunities and moments for connection. But here is the key. If we cannot allow ourselves to encounter our own pain and our own suffering. If we cannot meet our own difficulties and frustrations and hurts with compassion and acceptance, if we meet our own difficulties in life with resistance and frustration, we will not be able to meet the suffering and the difficulties of others with compassion and with love. Our ability to authentically and sincerely care for others is capped by our ability to authentically and sincerely care for ourselves. Our ability to extend compassion and care and mercy to others is limited by our ability to extend compassion and care and mercy to ourselves. When Jesus says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, this isn't just a task, it's a law. We are limited in the love that we give to others by our limitations in love that we give to ourselves. And sure, you can tell me right now, no, but I do care about them. But John Paul, I care so much more about other people than I do about myself. You don't. You feel like you do, but you don't know how to care about those other people because you don't know how to care about yourself. And if you want to really love these other people, love yourself. Because in loving yourself, and not just like, yes, good me, go to the places of pain. Go to the moments in your story that you don't want to look at. And go with a heart full of compassion and mercy and eyes of love and care. And sit and cry and feel the sadness and feel the fear. Because when you can do that in your own heart, you can do that with others. We respond to the pains and difficulties of others as we respond to ourselves. And if we respond to our own pains by trying to fix them, we're going to try to fix other people's pains. If we respond to our own pains by saying, look on the bright side, we're going to respond to others in that way. And usually, right, not usually, we respond to ourselves in this way because this is how we were taught to respond to ourselves in childhood. The way that our parents, caregivers, and society treats us is the way that we learn to treat ourselves. And so, there may be no greater task in your life than to learn to hold yourself with love and compassion. Because when you learn to hold yourself with love and compassion, it all pours out. Right? Like Christ says in the Beatitudes, seek first the kingdom of heaven and its righteousness. And what does Christ say? The kingdom of heaven is within you. He says today in the readings, right? The kingdom of heaven is like a pearl of great price that somebody finds. They sell everything to get it. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure found in a field. The man sells everything to secure the field. We have to sell out on all of these ways of protecting ourselves and learn to look inward with the naked intimacy of compassion, with the defenseless love of a human heart full of mercy. That is the kingdom of heaven. This is important work. There's nothing soft about it. It's the work of eternity, it's the work of salvation, it's the work of flourishing. Learning to look with compassion. That's the goal. It transforms everything. Yeah. This felt good today. Hope it felt good for you too. Love to hear what sticks out to you, if anything, here, and thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Take good care.